Okay, so to carry on from where we left off is let's add some content to our. Let's just run it one more time. Okay, let's add some content. Okay, right now we have a frame, but we have no computer program inside of it. So let's add something inside of here. Okay, so let's add some content. And by adding the content, we're going to use the JLabel. So again, everything in Java is an object. You know, kind of whether you like it or not. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to start with a comment, kind of a note to self. So I'm going to create components. In this case, I'm going to put a label to put in the frame or window. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go J label. Okay, label 1 equals new J label. Call this one hello world. There we go. Okay. So again, it's complaint. Now you notice that this is no longer a problem, but you notice that this is a problem. This identifier or this object is never used. No problem because we just created it. All right. So here's how you read it. The object name, the object identifier, the reference name, or the variable is called label1. I chose this name. The label1 is of the type JLabel. Again, everything in Java is a data type. Okay, and this label1 is of data type JLabel. JLabel also happens to be a class. Okay, so again, if you mouse over it, you see that JLabel is part of the swing class, is part of the Javax class, right? And you can read all about it. It's just incredible how Eclipse works like this. It's just so cool. Anyways, so and what we're doing here is this is a new object of the JLabel class. Okay, and we're passing on the parameter hello world. That's how you read this line. Okay, so basically we created a new object called label1. Okay, of the type JLabel. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to add components to the container or frame. I would say panel, but we're not quite using panels yet. Don't worry about panels so much. So what we want to do is we want to go frame dot add label1 and there. Okay, so what am I doing here? How do you read this line? Okay, what I'm doing is I'm calling the add method or behavior as it exists through the frame object. Okay, and I'm adding the contents of label1, which is I'm adding the object label1, which is declared right here. Okay, you might need to rewind the last 10 seconds a few times just so you understand it. Okay, if you don't understand it, make sure you ask me. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to save my work here. Okay, so now that I created some data and added it to my frame, I should be able to run it and see what it looks like. Oops. Run. There you go. So here is my here's my little GUI program. Okay, window, resize it, menu and that kind of stuff with a little bit of data in it. Pretty cool. Okay, so close that off. Go back to here. So at this point, what I want to show you is just a little trick. I'm going to show this to you, and then I'm going to tell you not to use it. And I'll explain why. So what I've done here is I import Javax Swing JFrame, Javax Swing JLabel. You might say that, okay, wait a minute. It's a little repetitive here. I'm repeating Java Swing. There's got to be a better way of doing it. There is. What I could have done is I could have done this: import Javax Swing dot star, like that. All right. And if I delete these, okay. What I've done here is what I'm telling the computer is I want to import all of the swing classes at once. Okay, so if you look here, oops. Okay, if you look at the swing, so what I'm telling Java is, you see this class summary for swing. I'm going to include all of these all at once, even though I'm not using them. All right, that's what I've done here. This little star is called a wildcard. That means include everything that in Javax and Swing, include all the classes. Now that's pretty convenient. It's very neat and tidy and stuff. There's only one line and there's less repetition. But as beginners, I totally don't recommend you do that. Even though I kind of want to show you that you can do it. I recommend that you just import the classes that you want and do it the hard way for now. Until you get a little more used to it, and then you could take some shortcuts. All right. Okay, now from here, what we're going to do is I'm going to talk to you really briefly about panels and layout. So first of all, you notice in my little example here in this GUI program, like I said, this whole thing is called a frame. Everything, this whole thing is called a frame. Within the frame, I have panels, and if you haven't noticed already, this one is kind of laid out like the panel has two rows, okay, metric system, US system, and with each panel I have kind of a sub panel where I have like one section, one half here and one half here, and same thing here, one half here, one half here. So you notice that the layout of my frame is kind of complex. You notice in this example here, well, this is a whole lot more complex. All right. So let's start to play around with a little bit of a little bit of layout stuff. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go back to Java Swing, and I'm going to use I think I'm going to use flow layout. There's many different types of layout, but I don't have time to show them all to you. So I'm going to go import, okay, java.awt.flow. Sorry, capital flow layout. All right. Okay. Now from here. Okay, so from here, what I'm going to do is, I think right underneath here, I'm going to go create a new layout for my frame. Okay, and I'm going to go flow layout, which is the type. Remember everything in. So I'm going to create a new object. I'm going to call this lout or lout equals new flow layout. And let's read this line. Lout is my identifier reference object name. It is of the type flow layout, and I'm creating a new object based on the flow layout class. All right. Pretty straightforward. Now set frame options. I'm going to set one more options. Now that I know what kind of layout I want a flow layout. I'm going to set another option here, and just arbitrarily I'm going to stick this right inside of here, and then go frame dot set layout like that. Okay, so let's read this line. What I'm going to do here is what I've done here is I'm invoking or calling or running the set layout method or behavior as it exists in the JFrame class, but I'm calling it through the frame object, which I made exist or instantiated right here. And when I call this method, I'm passing on one parameter or argument called lout. Okay. So remember to rewind and review what I just said as many times as you need, and ask me if you have questions. So I'm going to run, and let's see what that does. There, check that out. Okay, that's the difference. Okay, so tutorial continues next video.